Okay, good morning folks, or afternoon, depending when you're watching this. So we're going to carry on with the workbook today, and we're going to aim to do two more topics: choice of occupation and earnings, and labour markets. So we're still looking at section 3, which is the economics of the individual, businesses and consumers. Okay, so choice of occupation and earnings is today's topic. So little starter activity. So if you could choose any occupation after you finish your studies, what would it be? And why? What would be the reasons for that specific job? Like, why would that be something that you'd want to do as a profession? So pause the video, have a little think about this, and we'll maybe get some feedback from you when we have a Google Meet later. Okay, so we need to know some reasons or some motivators or incentives of why people might choose certain profession over others. And some are wage factors or financial factors, and some are non-wage factors or non-financial factors. So what I want you to do next is match the wage factor with the explanation. Okay, so we've got basic pay, overtime, bonuses, and commissions. Do the ones that you know, then make an educated guess on the rest, and then anything you don't know is what you should have left. Okay? So let's have a quick chat about this then and color code this slightly. So basic pay, the amount of money received by an employee before any increments or deductions are made. So just your basic pay is just the amount of money received by an employee before an increment or deduction is made. So one incentive, one reason you may choose a profession is probably because of the basic pay. We know certain professions are really well paid. Things like doctors, lawyers, pilots are well paid jobs. Okay, so that could be an incentive for choosing that particular profession. Overtime, let's give that some red. So hours worked in addition to the basic contracted hours. So an incentive to choose a job could be that there are lots of overtime payments, because you often get paid above your normal wage rate when you're doing overtime. Okay, so I know when I used to work in a restaurant, if you worked like Christmas Day or New Year's Eve or a public holiday, you would get double or even triple pay if you worked Christmas Day, really big holiday in the UK. So if you worked Christmas Day as overtime, then you would get triple pay for that. So whatever your hourly wage rate was, you would get triple that as an incentive to work those hours. Okay? Bonus. So a bonus, pink. So a one-off monetary incentive to encourage workers to work harder or longer, for example, to meet a particular sales or production target. Okay, so you could get an annual bonus if you've done particularly good work. You might get a loyalty bonus if you stayed with a firm for, say, 5 years or 10 years. Or maybe if a particular project went well or a particular sale went through, then you might get a bonus for good or high quality work. Okay? And then commission. This is the one you've probably not heard of. So a commission is a payment. Commission is basically a payment for every sale that you make. So if you work in, I don't know, selling cars, for every car that you sell, you might get a percentage of the value of that car, or you might get a flat amount. So for every car you sell, you might get $1,000. Okay, or maybe if you're an estate agent and you sell a house, you might get 1% of the value of that house. Or maybe it's something smaller, like selling mobile phone contracts. So if you sell a mobile phone contract to a customer, then you could get, I don't know, $100 bonus for every sale that you make, every contract that you sign. A lot of sales jobs are on commission because it's a really big incentive to make the person work hard and take the job in the first place. Okay, so these are financial motivators that might help a person choose a job and then stay in that job or work harder in that job. Okay, so we've now got a few more non-financial motivators. Okay, so again, have a work through this, color code them like we've just done, pause the video, and then we'll have a chat about these in a moment. Okay, so I haven't actually done these yet, so we're going to have to work these out as we go. So I've already spotted one match, so traveling distance. Let's just stick with, let's go pink again. So traveling distance, having to travel a long distance to attend work may force a person to find work that's closer to their home. Okay, so even if it means you're going to receive a lower salary, a lot of people will be geographically immobile. Remember when we talked about that in market failure? Because they're unwilling to travel or move to a higher paid job. So they may choose a more local job because of the convenience associated with that. Okay, so let's have a look if they enjoy the work. So this looks like job satisfaction. So many people prepared to work for a lower pay if they enjoy the work. Some people prefer to work for a company, others prefer to work for themselves. So let's make that yellow, and that's job satisfaction. Obviously, a clear motivator for people choosing their profession is that they think they're going to get satisfaction from it. Okay, so I've spotted another. Non-financial incentives given to employees. Green. So these are what we call fringe benefits. So these are non-financial things like health insurance, subsidized housing, maybe putting their children in a school, a pension. So these are perks or benefits of the job that the employee receives, and that might be an incentive for doing that job. Okay? So I've spotted another one here. So let's go red. So many countries have implemented labor laws. That's about length of holidays and days off. Job security. So how safe is the job? Are you likely to lose your job easily? So it's going to be this one. Most people want to be sure that they're not going to be laid off. So getting into manufacturing or something like that would be quite risky with the proliferation of automation and AI. Those kind of factory-based jobs will soon be replaced with capital, with machinery and tools. Okay, so that leaves us with one pairing. Let's go orange. So many people want to work in occupations where there's an opportunity for promotion, and this may provide an opportunity to take on more responsibility or earn a higher wage. People want to see a career that's got progression in there, that you can go in at the bottom and then work your way up the chain of command, up the hierarchy in order to earn more money and work your way up the business. Okay? So, second part of this is then thinking about what is your pattern of income going to be like. I know this is quite a low-res image, but you should still be able to read it. So have a look at this graph. We've got income consumption on the Y, and we've got time on the X, and we've got college, buying a home. So when you're at college, when you're buying a home, your prime working years and your retirement. And it says borrowing, saving, and dissaving. So what does this graph say about income patterns over an individual's lifetime? So have a go at filling that in. So we can summarize that when a person's at school or buying a home or in their early 20s, they're much more likely to be living in debt because they've got no income, or any income that they do have is likely to be very low because they don't have much experience. They're unlikely to be in a senior position at a young age. Okay, we've then got a big period of time where you are saving, you're paying off your debts, so you're paying off any overdrafts or student loan that you might have accrued while you were in that first stage, and then you start to save for pensions, for homes, for the future, because you're now earning more than you're spending. And then once you reach retirement age, you then extract those savings, because pension is basically just savings that you've invested. So you are dissaving and using up those savings. Okay, so that's called dissaving. So I am conscious that this video is going to be quite long, so I think we'll call it quits for this topic, which is about choice of occupation and earnings over time. Okay.